Yeah, I'm a little tad bit late because I was trying to make a post. I was trying to make a post on Threads, and then I was trying to make a post on what is it on the YouTube community post to make sure that I shared that I was live. Cause sometimes I guess I don't know if the notifications go off or not. I really don't be knowing for real, but yeah. But hey y'all, even though nobody's in here just yet, I do have some topics that I'm going to talk about today. I kind of wish I did not, well, I love talking to my mom, but I did end up talking to her for a long time, which my battery, what does my battery look like? It's on 80%, but I know when it comes to going live, sometimes I guess, I don't know, like the phone charge, going live basically takes a lot out of my phone charge. So hopefully I won't have too many problems, but we gonna see. I wish I could see. I should have put up the clock a little bit earlier so I could see what everything was gonna look like. But yeah. But I'm just relaxing right now, chilling right now. The plan is for me to go live for I want to say like 2 or 3 hours, but we gonna see how my phone charge hold up because I'm not exactly sure if my phone is gonna hold up for 2 or 3 hours. But we gonna see. We gonna see if it works. If I'm gonna be live for that long, because I always want to do. I usually do like an hour and a half, but I don't know. We might just be doing a 2 hour live today if my phone will hold up for that long. Hey y'all, I don't know who watching, but say hi if you feel comfortable. Because I know sometimes it's weird when it comes to speaking and saying hi in lives. Y'all don't have to if y'all don't want to. But yeah. But anyways, I hope you guys are having a great day. I do have topics today. If you guys are new here, I come on live and I will be talking about different things, so you guys can feel free to chime in on the questions that I have because I do a lot of Q&As where we talk about different things in life, whether it's, relationships or everyday life or wow, you super. Thank you. Appreciate you, just Italian. I like Italian food. Let me stop. I'm sorry. Hey, Maria Rose. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing the name. It's a beautiful name, though. Few is hot in this Uber. Hey, girl. Say please. Listen, I don't know. I don't know what that is. I don't want to be saying no incantations. You know what I'm saying? You know. My name is Hey Asia, how you doing, girl? Hey Rose, hey Jasmine, how you guys doing? Lady Gaga is back. She I mess with Lady Gaga, okay? But yeah, I hope you guys are doing okay. Let me know how your day was. Listen, I don't know, I don't want to offend, but I don't really be knowing what certain words mean in other cultures. You know what I mean? Great because I met you. Okay, I feel you. Hey, it's hot. I'm sure it is. You in Cali. I think what was the degrees today? I think today it was like 50 something here. And I'm not gonna hold you. I don't know how y'all make it in Cali in the summers because I could never. I greatly applaud you guys who can go into California and live there and experience the heat, the sun, because I subscribe because I can't stay away from you, girl. Thank you. Not Not you boosting my head up. Oh, I wonder myself. It'd be 110. Girl, 110 degrees. Listen, I couldn't do it. I would never leave the house. Everything would be virtual for me. I would not be leaving the house ever if that was me. But I hope you guys are having a really great day. If you guys do not know, I did post my We Got Coachella at Home. It's basically off-key singing karaoke. So if y'all want to check that out, y'all can. It's quite tragic. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It's pretty bad. But you know, we like to have fun over here. So feel free to check out that video if you guys get a chance. Also, don't mind my plaid pajama attire. I work from home. I work from home. Bombardilla Crocodillo. I don't know why that sounds like something from a children's show I used to watch. I don't know why. Listen, we're not gonna be doing all that. Let's just, yeah, we're not gonna be doing all that. But yeah, so I do have topics for the D. So firstly, the first topic is, can you be friends with someone who occasionally, as in 50% of the time, gets on your nerves? Let me know in the comments. Could you guys be friends with somebody who occasionally gets on your nerves 50% of the time? Please let me know y'all thoughts, because I have some personal experience with being friends with people who did get on my nerves quite a bit. And don't get me wrong, it's like you ever been cool with somebody, but it's almost like they either are performative or they do stuff for attention a lot. It was definitely those types of situations where it was kind of too much for me. No, it can ruin my positive energy, and I prefer good vibes. Yeah, exactly. And that would be the thing. It's like, if I'm trying to be cool and have a good time, you know, because I always want to have a good time with my friends, but I would never want to be in a situation where it's like, you know, you doing too much or you overwhelming me, being annoying. And I was in a situation like that similarly. Oh, sorry, my bad, girl. I didn't see. Oh, you fine. I'm trying to make sure I get on, you know, navigating, blocking people if I have to. But yeah, it can be certain situations where I would be cool with somebody, and sometimes you can just peep people and you can notice that they do way too much or they want attention from everybody else. I remember, well, I don't really like to tell too many stories about friendships too much, but I remember I was in this one situation where I was really cool with this one girl, and the vibes was always great. Like, she was always, you know, chill. No, actually, she was not chill, but it was just a variety of situations that would happen where basically she would be performative for men. And it would kind of be like, you ever had a friend that was kind of man crazy, a bit too much, almost like they wanted the attention to potentially acquire a significant other, but it was just too much where it's like, girl, if you would just calm down, maybe somebody could take some time out to talk to you, you know? It was stuff like that. Yeah, I had a relationship where he was a bad vibes person. I broke up with him and I feel better. Good on you, because sometimes it definitely is like that. Because I know I've been in some situations where, you know, when you first start talking to somebody, hey, Glass Child, how you doing? It is giving pick me. It is. It really is. But I know I've been in some situations similar where I would be talking to somebody, and at first, you know, like when you first start off talking with somebody and things seem to be okay, where you feel good vibes off of them initially, and then after some time passes of y'all being together, they start showing their true selves. It was kind of like that, where it's like, Originally, you were given, chill, positive vibes, and now you've transitioned into being negative or like a downer all the time. And I really didn't understand that because, again, people can transition, like, what is it called? The honeymoon phase, I guess it is. But people can have these moments where they want to act like there's something that they're not, and then when they get comfortable, they become a completely different person. And yeah, I don't like stuff like that. Like, don't get me wrong. Hi, Evangeline. Definitely relatable. I really try to give people the benefit of the doubt and room to grow, but it gets old. Exactly, because you can only take so much. If somebody is constantly doing the same thing and being repetitive, especially with negativity, I don't know what it is, because I'll be very transparent with y'all. When I was younger and a teenager, I was depressive, and I don't know what it was. I think it was just me trying to figure out myself, figure out who I was, going through the teen angst. I don't know. It was just a whole phase where, I'm figuring out my period. Sorry if it's men in here, but it was just a whole bunch of me trying to figure out who I was while also navigating in high school, and I didn't really want to be in high school for real. And I was very much negative, but it was like negative where I kept to myself. I didn't want to share that information with other people, what I was going through or like how I was feeling, because I didn't even understand it myself. But over a period of time, as I got older, I realized, you know what? Probably should not be handling things like that where I'm constantly complaining or I'm constantly being like, well, pessimistic or negative, because it doesn't really help me. Being negative does not really help you. It just keeps you in a stagnant state where your mindset does not really grow. It does not leave room for you to change. Where you're constantly just thinking about the bad stuff. And I will say, over the years, I grew into myself and I feel more positive. Don't get me wrong. Your girl very much will have pessimistic thought processes with some things, but I will say it is very much important to surround yourself with a more positive environment as well, and to be around other people who will encourage you, uplift you. I don't know if you will believe me, but from my grandmother, from my mother's side, all the women have like psychic power, like a psychic, and I can sense from great distances what people are like. Yeah, some people are like that, where sometimes you could just peep somebody vibes and you can pick up on if somebody is a decent person or if somebody is more of a positive person for you to be around, or if they're negative. Like, there have been times when I would meet people and you can tell, like, well, I don't want to say you could tell, but you could just catch somebody vibe sometimes where you just look at them like, this person is negative as hell and I don't want to be around them. Like, you could just look at somebody's face and all you'll think is, yeah, no, I don't want nothing to do with that man. I want nothing to do with that woman. That's not it. But back to the question I did ask. I asked, can you be friends with someone who occasionally 50% of the time gets on your nerves? Me, at this age, I could not. I could not do it. That's why I have few friends, because I want positive people around me. Yeah. And it's, I don't know, like, do y'all think it's harder to be more upset or like to be negative than to be positive? Because it seems like more people are negative than positive, even though there are a lot of things that you could be grateful for or a lot of positives that you could have in your life. So let me know y'all thoughts in the comments. Because again, when I went through that period of my time when I was negative, I had a lot to be thankful for and grateful for, but for some reason my mind was not in the, I guess, mindset, or I wouldn't allow myself to be in a position where I had a mindset where I could be more grateful, I guess. Sometimes happen even for positive people to be negative. Yeah, I mean, no one's gonna be positive most of the time. But it's just being negative all the time to me is such an insane concept now that I'm older. Cause I don't know, when you younger, you think stuff just be the end of the world sometimes. And it's like, girl, you're in high school or you're in middle school and you're not paying no bills. It's not that bad. It's I don't know. It's just really interesting when you really get things into perspective when you get older. And I will say, I feel like I don't care as much about stuff like not like that, but I believe that when it comes to caring about things, I only give so much stuff my energy because sometimes I'll talk with people and they'll express their concerns or stuff they're going through within life, and I always have to be mindful that I'm not in other people's shoes or I'm not going through the same things those other people are going through, because I never want people to feel like, oh, you're downplaying whatever I'm going through. But at the same time, I do have to look at things from a perspective of, if I was in your shoes, how would I handle this situation? And somebody will tell me something, and sometimes I'll just look at the situation like, huh, yeah, I can't relate. I like I can't, I don't know, like I understand you're being upset about this, but at the same time, sometimes I'll think, oh, sometimes people will give too much of their emotions or time into stuff that's not worth their time. No, in Italy, when a negative person appears, we'll say like a prayer against bad eye in Italian is Malogio? I'm sorry if I'm not mispronouncing that word, but I completely understand what you're saying, though. You definitely do have to be prayed up, and you do have to be mindful of the people that you keep around you, especially if somebody is constantly negative or somebody is constantly being just rude or a mean person or just cruel to other people. You said, okay, I said it right. Thank you. I'm trying to work on my pronunciations. I don't really like when I mispronounce stuff when it comes to other people's speech, and other people's languages. I'm also funny and make a joke out of the negative things, so I'm not a total bummer. See, I do the same things too. And someone recently called me out on it because, okay, so a little bit, I won't get too personal, but last week, me too. See, listen. Hey, Ilblurmatic. So last week I went through something, and it made me very emotional and upset because it was something I have been dealing with my whole life with somebody else, right? And I remember I was talking with my sisters, and for some reason, whenever I get emotional, I'll always say like a joke or something, kind of deflect or to make it seem like it's not a big deal. And one of my sisters was like, Jasmine, stop doing that. You always do this where like you'll be hurting or going through something and you kind of deflect or make it seem like it's not a big deal, or you joke about it. And it's okay to feel the way that you feel. And I was like, you right. You right, because one thing about me, I'm gonna say me a little jokey joke. And I would definitely make a situation unserious if I'm going through something. Mm. I don't know. It's like a defense mechanism. Big same. Listen, it's just like a protector. Yes, it'll blurmatic. It's a defense mechanism for sure. Sometimes even your family can upset you and make you feel it. You ain't said nothing but a word. This is definitely facts. Because, man, you go through things with family or friends, and you really, when you feel the feels, you just have to feel them. But it's very hard to not joke and to not kind of like protect myself. Like, I'm not gonna cuss on here, even though I really want to. But sometimes, I'll get emotional, I'll be crying, and then I'm like, yeah, but this ain't nothing because I'm a hard beat. I'm so unserious. My sister is the same though, so when you get us started, it's 10 out of 10. Listen, when you feel the feels, it just be too much. Make sure to hit them likes for the live stream. Yes, thank you. Please do. The Rose Rundown said hi, Blurred. But also the next topic. So, okay. Is everybody over 30 in here, or like at least not a teenager? Because I know some of you are 30. Actually, I guess I could just say it in general. I'm 20. Okay, youth. Oh, I do the 20s. That was a very interesting period of time for my life. Oh, I just remember I was just so. Let me not even talk about it. Let's not even talk about it. Anyways, so you know what? I could even say this for my 20s as well, actually. 33. Okay, listen, same. This will probably be the only live I tell y'all what my age is. So remember, because I normally don't tell. Listen, make me feel old. No, I am 33 years old, and this is literally the only time I will share this information because there's not that many people in here. But yeah, I'm 33, and man, 20s took me back to 30s, bro. 20s was a different time. I might have to do another video for that one. That was definitely a different time. Yeah. It's been a very interesting experience hitting 30. I'm gonna come out with this whole video about the bodily changes that I've been having ever since hitting 30 because I haven't been a fan. Truly, I have not been a fan of some of the bodily changes that I have been going through. It's very unfortunate. Some people say that I look like a 15 years old. Stay looking youthful, okay? We love to see it. Yeah, I'm 35. Okay, we out here. And listen, being in my 30s has been a great experience. I'm not gonna lie to you. But again, the bodily changes, not a fan. Like some stuff, it be aching a little bit too much, a little bit too easily, and I don't like that for me. I really don't like that for me. I know so many people when I was in my 20s, they used to be like, once you hit 30, stuff just gonna be hurting, aching you. I understand. I understand now. Because no. Y'all make me feel like an infant. Oh no, like you're completely fine. Like being 20s was a time. It was a lot to learn, a lot to explore. It's almost like just beginning a little bit. And you have more chances to, like, don't get me wrong, you can make mistakes when you're 30 or like 30s plus, but it's different making mistakes when you're in your 20s. Like, I don't know, it's just a different experience. It doesn't seem as serious in comparison to when you're 30 plus, in my opinion. Now enjoy them 20s. I agree. Enjoy being a youth. Please do. But so the topic was once you hit 30, but I'm gonna say once you hit 20 as well. Nobody talks about how you keep forgetting what age you are. Is it just me? Because I know every time I sometimes really have to sit and pause specifically when I go to like the doctor, or when I go do any type of paperwork, or any type of thing where somebody asks me my age, I really have to pause and sit there like, how old am I? How old are you? And it's like I almost be doing real math in my head. And I think it's also because, so I'm not super big on birthdays that much, but I really have to stand there and think about it because I don't do the whole birthday thing. I think it's because we're not in grade school that I just don't keep track of my birthday like that for real. Or the fact that I'm not collectively in an area of space of life where everybody is the same age. It's like everybody is a different age around me. So it's kind of hard for me to keep up with how old I am. I haven't yet. I do be forgetting stuff though. Listen, I'll be talking mid sentence and then I'm just like, what was I about to say? And then I just had to say, I was like, wait a minute, hold up. I got to think about it. Let me think about it so you don't ruin my track of what I was about to talk about. Like, I be forgetting. Listen, every time. Same thing my dad said to me, break your rules, but stick to them. Yes. Never, never forget what it is that you want out of life, or whatever it is that you want to do as far as like your ethics, morals. Don't bend your rules for anybody. But if you want to break your rules, break them for yourself, not for anybody else. That and body hurt. Listen, I'm telling you, whenever I have to pick up my little dog, if I have to bend my knees, they be like click, click, click. They be click clacking. What is it they say? He needs some milk. And I absolutely hate milk. I do not like milk at all. I don't like the way it tastes. I don't like the way it look. It's just, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. Click, click. I'm telling you, my knees been clicking since I was like 4 or 5. And they never said it was anything wrong with them. But, you can hear me. Like one thing I will never do around my friends or family. If I gotta bend over, I'm a bend over where I don't have to bend my knees. Because one thing, you're not about to be clowning me because my knees making noises like paper being bent up. You not about to clown me, not in no public spaces, because now you're gonna call me old. And I don't like that. I don't like that. That's not my gig. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Anybody else got click clacking knees? Just me? Mm-mm. Not too much. And I don't know what it is, but for some reason, I don't know if it's me talking too much, but for some reason, whenever I get on live and I get to yapping, I feel like I gotta blow my nose. So give me 1 second, because I don't want y'all to see me blow my nose. Hold up. Oh. Oh my gosh. Okay, anyways. Don't drink milk anymore either. I have never liked milk. My dad is 45, and yesterday he said my back do sound like click clack. Listen, not a fan of the clicks and the clacks. Yeah, so when I was a kid, one thing I used to hate was when they would do this thing where, well, it wasn't a thing, it's normal, like when you eat your cereal and you had a milk in the bowl, and I used to be told like you gotta drink the rest of your milk, and I would just be looking at them like, one thing about me, I'm not gonna be drinking no milk. You could give me cereal raw, okay? You don't need to put no liquids, no milk in there. I'm good with it. I can just eat it dry because I do not want to drink the milk. I barely want to taste it. I barely want to, and I don't want to consume it. I really don't, because something about milk, I don't like the way it smells. It make me nauseous. I don't know if, in other areas of the world, they milk smell tastes different, but where I live, I'm good on that. I think I can't even remember. Well, I don't mind almond milk too much, but I still wouldn't naturally drink it. The only time I'll take almond milk is if I'm drinking like a chai tea, like a chai bubble tea or something. Sis, get you chlorophyll gummies, change your life for sinuses. You didn't say nothing but a word. I'm gonna write that down. Chlorophyll gummies. Thank you. I will only drink chocolate milk. I feel the same about normal milk though. See, I remember I used to drink, what was it, Nesquik? I feel like I lied to myself. I vividly remember drinking it like, it's so good. I'm just drinking it because the other kids got it. It was nasty to me. It was nasty. But I didn't want to feel left out, and I didn't want to feel like I couldn't handle it. But I was definitely nauseous afterwards. Dry Cheerios, I can't speak. Dry Cheerios be on point. You not lying. I used to love eating some Cheerios. I used to put Smash on it. Man, I used to love me some Cheerios. Like I like the Honey Nut Cheerios. I know they came out with a berry kind that was okay. So, well, I'm intolerant to lactose, so I'm drinking soy, almonds, etc. That makes sense. It's debatable if I'm actually lactose for real. Your girl do get a little gassy, but I do like cheese. But yeah, when it comes to milk, I can't stomach it. Well, I don't know if I'm lactose. I just think I'm just naturally gassy. But anyways, it tastes like a hate crime. It does. It really does. And I really just be looking at people sideways like, you just drinking a whole cup, huh? Especially, so I don't know if y'all do it, but some people, you know how people would naturally dip cookies in the milk? Listen, I understand the concept, but at the same time, I'm okay with eating my cookies as is, dry, hard. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with just give me a raw cookie, okay? You don't need to have me dipping it in anything. I'm good with that. I'm good with just eating it as is. Well, does your tummy hurt? And poop too much? So, okay, I'll share a little bit about myself some more. So it was more than a couple years ago. It's almost been 10 years. That was a long time. I had an emergency surgery almost 10 years ago where basically my stomach my intestines, I had been born with my intestines tied in a knot and they had to cut a piece of my intestines off. And ever since then, my stomach has been, I don't know how to explain it, because I feel like if I have stomach issues, it's more so related to that than like lactose intolerance. So I can't even tell if it's related. But normally if my stomach hurts, it's because I got gas where I didn't eat enough, or I ate too much, or something gave me food poisoning. So I don't know. But yeah, the other topic that I have, okay. Are you mature enough to date somebody that you are not physically attracted to? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Even in your skin, if there is like red spots. Yeah, I don't really have red spots on my skin. I just have like regular freckles and sometimes the occasional pimples. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below Are you mature enough to date someone you aren't physically attracted to? I don't think that's a sign of maturity, to be honest. That's what I said. Because, so this was a topic that I found on Threads, right? And I always find it so interesting how people measure maturity, because to me, my thing is, why would you put yourself or somebody else in a situation where you aren't attracted to them? I don't know. To me, that's kind of weird. And how do I say this without sounding mean? So I have had experiences. Well, it was like one experience I had where I dated somebody that I was not actively physically attracted to. And this was when I think I was like 20, 21 maybe. And don't get me wrong, I enjoyed hanging out with them, spending time with them at the time. It was cool. But I realized long term wise, this probably wouldn't be it. I'm not going to hold you. Because, again, without sounding mean, I'm sorry. But if I'm going to pick somebody for the rest of my life that I'm going to be with, I don't want to roll over and see an ugly face. I really don't. Well, ugly is subjective, but I don't want to roll over to somebody that I'm not attracted to, because I know it's going to be some days where I'm just staring them in their face while they sleep, and I'm like, dang, you kind of hit. I'm not I'm not a fan. That sounds so bad. But I have to be realistic. No, I think you need to be attracted. I need to leave. It's midnight, so good night. Okay, good night. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you. Maturity and looks really, though, that is why people be thirst trappers. They do. Like, I think you have to have some level of attraction for a relationship to work. I agree. I don't think the person needs to be universally attractive, but at least to you they do. Yeah, because it just seems like it would be very hard to date somebody and you looking them in their face. You're gonna have to see their face all the time if you really want it to be some long term. So I could not imagine somebody actively going through with it. And I've met some people where they have shared with me that they have dated people that they didn't find attractive, almost in a they pity them type of way. But they try to make it sound like it wasn't as bad as it seemed, like almost like they were doing them a favor, like, or they were trying to make themselves appear better than what it sounded. And I'm like, you dated somebody out of pity for a long term? That's insane to me. Why would you do something like that? Because you're basically wasting both of y'all time, and you probably being insincere at some point in time in this relationship. Well, technically you being insincere in general. But I just could not imagine being in a situation like that. I really couldn't. Certain level of attraction for it to work. Yeah, it does take a certain level for sure. That's uglier than whoever they were dating. Yeah, because it's like you basically had it in your mind that you thought of them a certain type of way that's less than for whatever reason. But you think it's okay? That's weird. Automatically think of Ice Cube song booty like Beyonce face, like please. Listen, I don't know. I could not imagine being in a situation like that, and I feel for anybody who is dating someone who does not find them attractive, because again, you're wasting that person's time. And a lot of times those people who don't find the other person attractive, they be using those people. They will be using them for whatever it is, money, intimacy, anything. And again, why would you be with someone that you don't find yourself feeling something towards for real, for real? Or it's just the fact too, like, did you plan on even being with them long term for real? Or was your intent to be with them for as long as you could use them until you found someone else that you felt attraction towards? Some women like ugly type self-esteem boost is crazy. I can agree with that actually. I have seen some women. Well, so this is the thing. I'll even be honest with you. There are some men. How do I say this without sounding mean? There are some men that are not as attractive. However, if they are funny, they can get a pass. If they are funny, sometimes the ugly just drops right off with the jokes. It writes itself. I don't even know how else to say it because, I mean, I have been in situations where somebody was like like not even conventionally attractive, wasn't universally attractive, like you said, Glass Child. And when they talked to me, they were funny, they were hilarious. And that's always something that got me. If somebody was funny and hilarious to me, one thing about me, I like to laugh. So if somebody is funny, sometimes sometimes you become more attractive because of your personality. Because I've had that happen to me a couple of times where I wasn't attracted to somebody, and then over time of me spending time with them, I ended up becoming attracted to them, which I feel like is a completely different story. But I will say there are some women that will date somebody ugly or date somebody who they naturally would not talk to because it does make them feel some type of way, which is weird, but that's their own problems. They should unpack that in therapy. Like, I genuinely think a person becomes physically attractive when they're funny and have a good personality. Right. Like, it's just something about them. Well, it's just something about when you interact with them because they actually make you feel good, or like you feel a connection to them and it just feels natural. So the more you interact with them, it's like, you're becoming more attractive to me. Some type of magic. Like, and again, like, I've met some people where I didn't find them attractive initially, but the more I talked to them, the more I was like, this guy's got it. I don't know if he gonna have me, but true, some people's sense of humor don't have looks true. Right. Yeah. And I don't know. I really think humor is important. I don't care what anybody says. I think humor is very important, at least to me. Like, to make something last, I need to be able to laugh a lot. Because I laugh all the time. I make myself laugh every day. I will really be in here, making a video or something, and I'll say something, and I forget about it because I batch record or whatever. And then sometimes when I come back and I'll be editing, I'll just be kikiing to myself like, you're so clever. I'm so unserious. But it's funny because my husband, he'll come in and he's like, you laughing about yourself again, ain't you? I'm like, yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, laughter is the best medicine, real talk. It is. I remember, okay, this is a little off topic, but it's kind of on topic. But I remember when I was a kid, I used to laugh all the time. And I stay laughing. But I remember my grandmother telling me, like, why you always laughing? Quit that laughing. And I'm like, shit be funny. What do you mean? Stuff be so funny. Why, how can I not? But yeah, I don't know. I feel like humor is important. And you should be able to laugh. You should be able to joke with your person and be yourself in general. But the whole dating somebody that you're not attracted to is a wild concept to me. What was it? I think it was like this post I was reading where somebody was explaining how you need to start not just thinking about looks and stuff. And I get not needing the prettiest person, like somebody that's conventionally attractive for real, where everybody wants them. Because I'm not going to lie to you. So I would never, ever want to talk to somebody that every single person wants. I am so sorry. Like, my husband, he attractive, you know what I mean? But I'm talking about somebody that's like a pretty, pretty boy, like model type. I would never want to date somebody that's like pretty, pretty, pretty model type, everybody lusting after them. I would never. Because the experience is not a good one. I'm going to tell you that right now. I think I dated when I was younger, like it was like late teens, maybe 2021. I dated a few very pretty people that were model people, over 6'2", stuff like that. And I did not like it. One, they were super arrogant, which don't even get me started on that. But two, it was also just the issue of, and I'm gonna make a video about this. Actually, let me add this. I'm gonna make a video about like pretty privilege with men, because I dated someone who is extremely pretty as a man, like a pretty man, and you being the woman that's dating them is not a good experience. From my personal experience, it was not a good experience. One, it was the issue of getting women staring you down. Keep in mind, they don't know you. They don't know him. But they're just looking at him like, oh, he's attractive. Why is he with her? And that's just like with some celebrities that are really attractive. If they find out, okay, let's say there's an artist who's a singer, right? And people will look at this artist and they'll be like, they're a very attractive person. And then they find out, oh, there was someone that's a normal looking average person. Now everybody's got a problem. Now everybody's in the comments saying, why are they with them? They shouldn't be with them. And I will never understand that concept of people looking at other people and wondering why they're with somebody just because they think that person doesn't fit whatever standard they believe should be what the person that they are lusting after is about. That I really don't understand that thinking, because first of all, you don't even know them. You don't know them. You don't know anything they got going on in their relationship. You basically putting a perspective that's more, what's the word? A perspective that's more vain, where you looking at people like, oh, they have to look this certain type of way. They have to look a model type of way in order to be with this person. People could be pretty to them, or, it could be a multiple of reasons why they with somebody. But because other people have this thought process, they ganging up in the comments or bullying people like, you shouldn't be dating this person. Like you would have a chance. so unserious, but a lot of people think that way. And I'll never forget, I remember I was dating this one pretty boy type guy when I think I was 19, which he had his own problems. I ain't gonna hold you. But I remember we had went to some fast food place and the girls behind the counter was making our food, right? And one of them proceeded to say, mind you, in my face while they making the food, why is he with her? He could be with someone so much better. And I was just standing there like, you're ugly. You're ugly. You're up here worried about me being with this guy. You don't even know this guy. And you're probably, listen, I wanted to kind of go off, but at the same time, I was just like, they're children. I'm pretty sure they're kids, at least some years younger than me. So I wasn't really tripping too much, but at the same time, I was just like, I'm sure stuff like this happens every day, and it's weird. It's weird that you can fix your lips, especially to say something like that while you working on a job too, and you supposed to be serving people. And the thing that I didn't like even more about that situation was when we left out of the place after we got our food, mind you, I paid for it. But anyways, after we left out of the place, the guy gonna look at me and he'll say something. Did you hear what they said? They said that they were wondering why I was with you. And I'm just looking at him like, you think that makes you feel good because some yous that were ugly asked that question? Listen, I could do multiple videos about my dating career that were horrible. Sorry, I had to blow my nose real quick. Ooh. But anyways, yes, like we didn't talk that long. It was a multiple of, well, actually, I'm not gonna say it was a multiple of reasons, but it's something about arrogant people that is problematic for me, which is crazy because I realized years later that I actually had a type, which we could talk about that too. Did y'all have a type, or do y'all have a type when it comes to people y'all date? Because a lot of times when it comes to people talking about types, they usually come about the physical part, the physical aspect, and not the personality aspect. And I always thought I never had a type. I always thought, because I've dated or talked to people that were a multiple, like different, I'm not going to say different ethnicities, but I've interacted with different people that were black, white, Chaldean, like different Mexican, different types of people, but I never had a type. Like nobody was super tall all the time. You know, I could date somebody tall, somebody short, not shorter than me, but I could date a variety of different type of people. They could have long hair, short hair. But later I realized that my type was, I used to date arrogant men. And I didn't realize that until much later. And I didn't realize that that was a problem. But eventually I noticed that. And then, yeah, my perspective on things changed. And that was like, when I realized that, I was dating my husband, where I was like, because I did a video, it was like one of my first videos that I did where I basically was sharing how I changed my perspective about dating, where I talked about how when I first started hanging out with my husband, I realized he was very nice, and I found myself fighting myself over if I should talk to him because he was so nice to me. And it really made me reflect on myself, like, why are you not trying to talk to somebody nice? Why are you not trying to talk to somebody who is actually kind? Because there is a difference between somebody who is nice and somebody who's kind. And I really had to reflect on myself, like, what the hell is wrong with you? Why would you not want to talk to somebody who's actually going to treat you well? Major growth. I tell you, when I tell you it was some major growth I had to do, like, even just thinking about stuff now, I have changed so much ever since being with that man. Y'all don't understand. Your girl was down bad, just horrid. But yeah, it's just really something different when it comes to transitioning from a period of dating your type and then figuring out what's a better fit for you. Because again, a lot of people think about the looks aspect, or they think about, oh, my type is somebody tall, or my type is somebody that has a man bun. I don't know. My type is somebody that has big boobs. I don't know. I don't know. But sometimes your type isn't always what's good for you. Sometimes you need to date beyond what's your type. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to get out of the habit of dating what you're used to and date something that would be better for you. Because again, I'm going to tell you right now, dating somebody that is actually truly kind is the way to go. It's not nobody that's ugly. I ain't gonna hold you. Not to sound mean, but don't date somebody just for looks or just because they treat you nice. They need to have something else. They need to have some type of attractiveness. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. They need to have something in addition to being kind. Okay, maybe have some goals. That was another thing. I had this issue with dating guys who did not have goals, which I can understand when you're younger because you're still trying to figure things out. But there are limits. There are limits, okay? Yeah, some people are so vain and conceited that when it comes to looks. This is true. This is very true. Some people are only focused on, oh, my man or this girl, she got to be a baddie. My man, he got to look like this. Babe, what about the personality? What about if they treat you right? What about if they actually are responsible or make decent decisions in life? Are they reckless? Are they always in messy situations? It's just a lot to consider versus just looks. Hey, Tony. Yes, nice guys don't get treated great. I had a video I was gonna come out with, but I felt like it was gonna offend a lot of men. And I don't think I'm actually going to come out with it, or if I do, it's going to be behind my memberships because I don't want again, it's a topic I do not want the podcast boys to get a hold of. I'm not even going to hold you because I feel like you have to be careful with calling yourself nice. Because, like, nice can be very, like, don't get me wrong, everything is conditional, but nice is different from being kind. And there are a lot of guys who say that they're nice. I'm not saying it's you, but there are a lot of guys who will claim that they are nice, but they're really trying to get in your pants. They're really trying to manipulate you into a relationship. Again, not saying it's you, but I've been in situations where guys would play nice, acting like they're my friend and stuff. And then they got mad at me when I finally we gonna talk about it. I'm a you know what, y'all gonna get to learn some more about me today. Like, we gonna talk about it. Let me read these comments first. I've only dated nice guys, but a lot of them have had mental health issues. That's another thing. Mental health can definitely make or break a relationship for sure, which isn't a negative as long as they're managing it properly. Yeah, that was always the thing whenever I would get into situations where people had mental health issues. I feel like either they didn't have the health care insurance to get the help that they needed, or they thought they know everything and they didn't want to get help. And unfortunately, there are a lot of people, because they were raised that way, to like think of mental health in a certain negative light or trying to get help in a negative light. So they didn't really want to get that help, which was very unfortunate because I feel like it hindered a lot of their relationships. My type is usually intellectual types of women. That's good. Hopefully they're not arrogant. I'm sorry. Cause it's like it's levels to when people are like intellectuals, because some of them it's like, okay, you're knowledgeable, you're willing to learn more, understand things. But then there are other people who are intellectuals and they're know-it-alls and think they know everything and they don't want to listen to nobody. So just saying. Just saying. You shouldn't date anyone for one reason, whether that's physical, mental, financial, etc. Partnerships need a better foundation than that. Right. It takes so much. You need the layers. It has to be multiple things in addition to just physical. Or we can have good conversations, or I have a good time with them. Babe, can you manage your finances? Don't get me wrong, I'm working on that myself. But, it's just other things. Big difference between nice guys and nice guys, right? Listen, I'm about to tell y'all a story real quick. Sis, dope perspective on nice. Yes, women do the same. Got baited recently, ended friendship. I'm sorry, man. That sucks. I know women talk about how difficult it is to date, but I'm not gonna lie. Y'all guys got it hard. Y'all gotta worry about women begging y'all for money, asking for a bag, having attitudes, calling y'all sassy when y'all disagree. I'm so apologetic for you. True levels to intellectual speaking truth is, yeah. But okay, let me tell y'all a quick. Dang, this happened to me a couple times in my youthful days. Okay, so I remember when I was younger, right? Now, for whatever reason, because hi girl, still here keeping the live open. Thank you, girl. I appreciate you. So I remember when I was younger, right? I dated a variety of guys over my dating career. Some of them in which I shouldn't have been talking to. But within all of that of me dating people, I had obviously friends. I had both female and male friends, okay? But I had mostly male friends. And I don't even know why I had mostly. Actually, you know what? I do know why. And I'm about to explain that. So within me having a lot of male friends, there were not that many. There was probably a very few, as in 2 over the course of my lifetime, that were actually friends to me. Whereas the other ones that were friends with me wanted something from me that I would later find out. And when I say they wanted something from me, and I'm going to do a video about this in the future, I feel like, and it's not all the time, but I do feel like a lot of men friend zone themselves. And I'm going to explain this, okay? So, there were a variety of guys that I met over the course of time, right? And over the course of time, when I would first meet them, my mindset is always, you have a certain period of time to address with me if you are interested in me, if you are of the opposite sex, okay? Because I'm hetero. You have a certain amount of time to express to me that you are interested in me. Otherwise, I am going to categorize you as friend, okay? And what would end up happening is some men would come into my life and would tell me with their whole chest, I think, I'm not looking for anything. I just want to be friends. Ding, 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 ding. My head is like, you're a motherfucking friend. That's where you're going to stay. Because one thing about me, if you're a friend, I'm going to categorize you as such, and you're not moving from that place. Okay? You are going to stay there. You are going to stay a friend. You feel me? So there was this issue. Oh, wait, let me read the comments before I get to yapping, because y'all know I will keep going. Nothing more disappointing thinking you have a genuine friendship only to find out they were waiting for their end. Yes, that's exactly what it was. I can't stand when people use people. Girl, they've tried. Right, glasses set. Yes. So what would end up happening is they would express to me they wanted to be friends with me. I'm like, cool. I ain't got no problem with it. Bet. What would end up happening is over time, I normally don't change the way I interact with people. Like, even the way I'm talking with y'all now, this is naturally the way that I talk to people I know in real life. There's no change or whatever. But over time, what would end up happening was also, to some degree, I am a kind person. Like, I don't try to be mean to people. I mind my business, say my little jokey jokes, and go. That's pretty much the energy I'm on most of the time, and I keep to myself. But over time, of these select few men, of them being cool with me, they basically... Wait. I was all sitting here enjoying the story tea. Girl, I got tea for days. They use the friendship as a way in. Pretty much. Hey, T-Berries. How you doing? Actually, let me blow my nose. Blow a nose break. Hold up. Anyways. How dare they? That's what I said. But, so what would happen is, I would express to them, okay, we could be friends. That's fine. I got no issue with it, right? We would be cool. We would be completely cool. Everything would be fine. But then what would happen is, over time, sometimes I would notice stuff, and then sometimes I didn't notice anything. Because sometimes I could tell if somebody was liking me because they would be subtly flirty with me, and I don't like that. If I am friends with you, do not be flirty with me, because you're crossing a boundary. I'm not one of those people where, if you have told me that you want to be friends with me, that's the boundary. Friends. I don't do flirting friends. I know some other people are like that, where they're okay with flirting with their female friends or male friends, but that's never been me. If I'm flirting with you, my intent is to date you. Like, that's always been the energy I've been on. If I ever flirt with you, the purpose is for me to date you. Do not flirt with me if the intent is not to date me, especially if you already told me we gonna be friends. Because in my head, I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Why are you coming at me like this when you said you want to be friends? Now, I have had some guys that were my friends. They would be like, I was just trying to see. Then you shouldn't have put that label on it. You did it to yourself. You friends on yourself before you even gave yourself a chance, or you were trying to figure me out. I don't know. That was another issue that I had with some of the male friends that I had, where they would be trying to figure me out or understand me, get to know me, which I have no issue with people. Actually, I do. I like being mysterious. I'm so unserious, but I do like people not knowing too much about me. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like it. It's something about it that I just like, when people don't know that much about me. One, people be trying to be in your business, and for what? Why? But it's also the fact that when people want to be in your business, I think it's because I don't share. That's why people want to know more, or because I don't talk and I keep to myself. People probably want to know more. But what they would do is they would befriend me and acquire certain knowledge about me, ask me all this stuff. And one thing I didn't like was when guys would be like, okay, we're friends. But then over the course of some of our conversations, they would be like, well, what type of guy do you like? You asking, you got a friend you can provide, since you asking me what type of man I like? Because it ain't you, because we friends. Why are you asking me what I want in a guy, or what type of guy I like, if you have no intent to hook me up with somebody? Because it ain't gonna be you. And listen, I really never understood that. I really could not grasp it, but I would tell them anyway because I'm like, I mean, shoot, maybe you know something that I don't. Maybe you know somebody that I don't. Little did my dumb ass know. They were basically trying to swindle me up in their treachery, swindle me up into me talking to them because they were being deceptive about what they want. And don't get me wrong, maybe they didn't know what they wanted. I'll give them that. I'll give them that. Maybe they didn't know. But again, whatever you did with other women, that's cool. But I'm a different bit. I'm not gonna cuss. I'm trying not to cuss. I'm trying not to cuss, but I'm just saying, bro, like that used to have me real big. But anyways, sometimes, it would be situations where men would befriend me and that would happen. Then there were some men that would be friends with me for years, years, and they would be waiting for me to be single. Now, I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm gonna be completely transparent with y'all, right? I had an issue when I was younger. Dealing with other issues, I'm still gonna go to therapy for it. But I had this issue where I stayed dating. I stayed in a relationship. I didn't get any time to myself until I got much older. And I grew. I grew from it where I was like, you know what? You can't keep dating different people and then dumping them as soon as well, I'm not gonna hold you. I'm very off for dumping somebody if they're not on the same brain length you on. Because some people would try to be in a relationship with me just to get the box. And I'm sorry. If that was your intent, it ain't gonna happen. You might as well just find somebody else. Like that was always the energy I was on. And that was literally normally the main issue I was having where like somebody would be cool, everything would be seeming okay. And then because I didn't want to be intimate right when we got into a relationship, they would be looking at me sideways like, oh, you're supposed to do this because we're boyfriend and girlfriend. Who said that? Who said that? Was it a rule book that I didn't see when I entered this relationship? Because I don't know what the hell you're talking about. But again, there were a variety of guys who would be on that energy. But I would date different people. And it did help me to figure out what I like, what I dislike, stuff like that. But at the same time, I will say it could have been distracted, But I remember there were a few guys that would wait. They would be waiting for me to get out of a relationship, waiting for me to stop dating, right? And it was a few situations where I remember I got out of a breakup that I was really emotional about. And I will never forget. I was, talking with my friend who I had been cool with for years, like 3+ years. They never pursued me or anything. To my knowledge, they never said anything flirtatious or anything. But I got out of this relationship. I was very vulnerable. I was crying with them. And they ended up telling me that they wanted to date me while I literally had just got a relationship. And I was sitting there in confusion. First of all, why would you tell me this and you know I'm being emotional? You're trying to take advantage of me. Instantly. I'm like, you're trying to take advantage of me because why would you tell me this information when I literally just got out of a relationship? They start telling me all these, flattering things, whatever. This man drops the bomb that he's been in love with me for years. I'm your friend. What are you talking about? Yeah, I've always felt this way. You never said anything to me. You never treated me any differently. Why did you wait so long? First of all, I'm like, I feel bad. I feel bad because if I'm your friend and I know you've been feeling some type of way for years, mind you, This man had dated other women too, which, sometimes I'm thinking, I'm calling BS, But at the same time, I'm like, if you really felt this way, why would you do this to yourself? Pretty much. Well, I just didn't want to pressure you. So you're going to pressure me now? After I literally just got a relationship, bro. Literally, it hadn't even been 4 hours. Ugh, homegirl tried to pursue me, didn't know, trying secretly get me, failed. Bro, people be plotting. Okay? Never happened, either stayed friends until this day. Listen, people will try to plot on you and you don't even know it. You just be minding your business thinking, I got a new friend. And then here they go. I'm going to get that box. I'm going to get that sausage. Like, be so for real. I thought we had something. I thought we was connected. But clearly, you were trying to connect intimately. Or you was trying to get into a relationship with me this whole time. You could have just been on a whole different tip. I was about to say something, but it's just like you could have handled this differently if you wanted something else, I hope you are outside of the sun, T-Berries, and I hope you are able to get some rest. That is the worst. It is. They definitely had some type of patience because it couldn't be me. There's absolutely no way. One thing about me, I was always a person where if I had a crush, you was gonna learn it. You was gonna learn it because I feel like it is the worst thing in the world to like somebody and you have this yearning and longing for them where your heart hurts. Mind you, they're not in a relationship. It's one thing if somebody is involved with somebody because, you shouldn't do stuff like that where you're trying to pursue somebody who are already involved. But it's a completely different thing if you have this you want to be with somebody but you're not going to tell them. So now you're just going to be stuck with all these strong feelings. I understand being scared or being nervous about not trying to address your feelings directly, but at the same time, to me, it just feels so much worse to have all these great, strong feelings and not get them out. And now you're stuck with them. And now you're just sitting here. It's like, what are you doing? You don't make any shots you don't take. Like, you never know. There's a chance that they could potentially want to date you. They could be interested. And now you're just going to let like days of your life pass you by because you are scared of somebody rejecting you. Rejection is afraid of me. Okay, like I don't mind being rejected. Like I don't know what it is. I don't mind being rejected myself. Ooh, that was about to get really dark. I was about to say something real dark. But, I just feel like you should not hold on to something that's going to hurt you. You know what I mean? Good to have a shoulder to cry on. A shoulder that's not manipulative and plotting on you, sure. Yes, you use emotions, get with you at moment of vulnerability. Speak anyway. Okay. Yes, use emotions, get with you at moment vulnerability. Crazy, both men and women do that. Yes, both sexes do that, bro. I had someone I thought was a friend that I met through my ex. He stuck around for 10 years while I was with my ex, and the second I left, he made a move in the worst way too, but that's another story. They will plot. They will be plotting and think it's okay to come at you like that. And I don't understand. I really don't understand. Let the tears dry first. Just I don't understand it. I really don't. You ain't lying. You could have been a therapist. In the other life, I expressed that I originally was supposed to become a therapist, but I realized that that was not for me. Because people don't listen, and I know I would probably be pissed off if somebody that I'm trying to help did not listen to me. I would definitely be like, what are you paying me for? Get the hell out of my office. Like, But anyways, it's good you cut them off because people really will plot and wait in the wings. Rejection as a bad thing either sometimes. Yeah, sometimes rejection can be a blessing. And, again, I feel like a lot of people are just very scared. And don't get me wrong, because your girl has been rejected a multiple of times, it does hurt, but I'd rather somebody reject me than to leave me hanging. Because there have been times when I've told someone I was interested in them and they either did not give me a direct answer, and I don't know if it was because they weren't trying to hurt my feelings or if it was because they were trying to see what they could get from me, or if it was they were weighing their options, I guess. Personally, I feel like there's nothing wrong with being direct. So okay, I did a video a couple months back about ways for women to meet men. I thought that video was gonna do so well because I gave a lot of helpful advice, but it didn't. But I gave ways in which in which I've met men over the years, right? And I did mention that I would potentially come out with a video about how I used to flirt back in my single days. But I really feel like being direct is, yeah, direct is the best way to be. It really is, because it's like you can be direct without being arrogant. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be overly confident. It doesn't have to be arrogant or anything. It could just be very simple where it's like, yeah, you're attractive. Would you maybe want to go out for some ice cream, a cup of coffee, pizza, I don't know, bubble tea, anything. But I do feel like people make it hard because I know there's always that discourse about people sharing how women are not very direct, which I get it. I get it completely because I've seen a lot of women attempt to be direct, but the way they did it was not ideal. But I will say, sure, rejection hurts initially, but it was something about, man, when I tell you, I would like somebody in high school and I would tell them, not to their face, I ain't gonna hold you. I would always write a little note, you know what I'm saying? I would write a little message, send a little, with social media out. Yeah, it was some types of social media out at the time. I feel so old, but it was some types of social media out at the time where I would basically, tell them like, yeah, I'm interested in you. And if they told me I don't think we should talk or I'm not interested, I would cry a little bit for like 3 or 4 days at home. And then I'd be on to the next. Actually, I wouldn't be on to the next one. But maybe after some weeks or some months, I would find somebody else to tickle my fancy. You know what I'm saying? Somebody else that would be attractive for my million. You know what I mean? Rejection from a pretty girl hurts. I mean, rejection from an attractive man hurts too. I think it also depends too. The only thing I didn't like is when people would get rejected in front of other people. I don't like stuff like that. But sometimes people are very ballsy and they will try to approach you in front of other people, which is very arrogant. Or, maybe they don't know how to navigate it. But yeah. But what about rejection from a pretty girl who's funny with a great personality? Could you imagine how that would feel? That could send you on an ice cream binge. Ice cream is good. But I mean, sure. Yeah, I mean, rejection would suck if they're pretty and have a great personality and funny. I mean, again, I've been rejected by men who were funny, attractive, had a good personality, but I can't say that because that sounds so bad. But I'd later realize they were whores. I'm not saying everybody like that, but stuff just be happening. You know what I'm saying? Where you realize maybe that wasn't a good fit for you. And in the case of getting rejected by someone who's pretty funny and has a great personality, I'm not gonna lie, there are way more women to men ratio, and there's a potential possibility you would find somebody else. I'm giving the most horrible advice, but I am very realistic when it comes to things. I'm like, you have other options, but it just depends if you get out the house or like if you positioning yourself in certain places to meet people too. Man, rejection a part of life, good and bad, comes with it. Know what makes you stronger. It does, because I will say it made me a much more direct person. I gotta blow my nose. Ooh, my nose. Imagine being rejected by the love of your life. So, from my perspective, I would think if it's truly well, because in my perspective, I would think the love of your life wouldn't reject you if it's truly the love of your life. But it could be the love of your life right then and there at that time. So, I don't know. I guess it just depends. Because I had maybe one person I dated before that I thought would actually be someone that I would be with. And to some degree, they rejected me for personal reasons, those things they were going through in their life. And that hurt my feelings. But after time apart from them, I feel like if you let yourself grieve and reflect on things, you will realize your concept of what you had with that person at that time is not the same when you have time away from them. It's almost like you could really see things for what they are later. Like, even when I think about any relationship I've ever been in, it would take me a while. It really would. It would take me a while to realize, okay, yeah, I had some good times with this person, but this and this and this and this was wrong. But really thinking about it, after I got much time away and much distance away from them for months or years or whatever, I can look back on things like, yeah, that was not healthy, or there were a lot of issues with that relationship. They're probably not the love of my life. So I don't know. I guess it just depends on your experiences, you know? Since the last one like that, so glad I never met with that person. Horish behavior. Not horish. Listen, the whores be outside. They be in the street, bro. Ugh, man, it's been a lot of times I've been cheated on to find out my man's was outside. Ooh, when I tell you, it just hit different when you find out your man a whore. It just hits completely different, especially when you got multiple other people saying it. I never want to go back there. I never want to go back. Like, some people's feelings be changing like seasons when it comes to people. Yeah, some people do. Some people don't know what they want though. Cause again, I've had situations where a person I would be dating would tell me that they were interested in me and we would date for a while, and they would say, "Oh, you're a perfect wifey material." I used to hate when people would say stuff like that. Because why would you say that and you not trying to marry me? But also, why would you say that with somebody you only been talking to for 2 months? That's weird. But, people, sometimes I would realize people didn't know what they wanted, or they still wanted to do other stuff. And it's like, that's okay, but don't expect me to still be here if you want to be outside in the streets. She was outside. Yeah. I don't know. Like, some people really do be out here for the streets, and you live and you learn. Like, that's really all you can do. That's another thing. Like, that's going into a completely other topic from when I was on my list. But okay, so I don't know if y'all have ever done this before, but personally, I don't really like this. I don't like when people seek revenge on people when they do them dirty, personally. And it's only because, well, it's multiple reasons. Like, I don't believe in reciprocating energy when it comes to disrespect or cheating. Like, for example, to me, if somebody cheats on me, I'm just going to break up with you. I'm just going to break up with you. Why am I going to proceed to still talk to you knowing you're still cheating on me, and then I'm going to find somebody else to cheat on you with to get back at you? It just takes so much effort. And that's something I would not want to be a part of. Like, when I've talked to people about this, they would share how they want revenge, they want to get back at people, and I would just be looking at them like, do you know how, like, that does not make sense to me? Because now you're just wasting time. They've clearly showed you who they were. They've clearly told you and expressed to you, I am not on this energy of being with you for real. And now you're going to take your time to reciprocate the same energy when you could potentially have met somebody else. You could have potentially been focused on something that would put you in a better light or put you in a better position in life, but you're too focused on getting back at this person that you're talking to that clearly has disrespected you. Why? Why are we doing this? It's definitely giving you gonna mess up your karma, and then also you're just wasting each other's time. And then also, some of those people, they do stuff like this and then they end up catching something or catching a baby, and now they feel stuck, like they have to be with that person because it's familiar. Couldn't be me. True learning experience. It is. I'm feeling like an ice binge. Good to see you, though. You're such good vibes. Thank you. Good to see you, too. I gotta blow my nose again. I swear. Some people become obsessed with toxic love. Some people do. Like, I've met some people where I've noticed they have a like, because they're so used to it, they think it's normal to act a certain way or to be in relationships that are not healthy. And other people on the outside could look at it like this isn't a healthy situation to be in. But to them, because they've done it so repetitively or because they've been with that person for such a long time, they don't think of it as toxic. They don't think of it as, oh, this is problematic. They're just like, this is my norm. So I don't know anything else. This is the way it's supposed to be. It's just like some men or women who feel like a man or woman has to be very jealous or display their jealousy greatly in a way that is definitely toxic, but because that's what their experiences showed them, they think, oh, this is supposed to be normal, that a man or a woman does not care about me unless they show that they're extremely jealous. It's just a lot. A lot of stuff that probably needs to be unpacked in therapy. Hola, how are you? Greetings, or holla. How are you? Greetings from Indonesia. Hi, Mario. How are you? I'm doing well. Hope you're doing well yourself. But yeah, so I'm gonna go to the next topic. Okay. If you could press a button to skip sleep but feel fully rested, would you do it? Let me know y'all thoughts in the comments down below. If you could press a button to skip sleep but feel rested, would you do it? Let me know in the comments. Because me personally, I honestly would only do it for certain circumstances. Like, I don't think, because there are some, I like getting cozy too much. Listen, same. Same. I need a nap, okay? Hi Jasmine, I like your shirt. What you doing? Hey, this is from Lands End. It's a pajama shirt. And I'm just yapping on here. How you doing? But the question was, if you could press a button to skip sleep but feel fully rested, would you do it? Let me know y'all thoughts in the comments. Personally, I feel like, so there are some days where I wish I didn't have to go to sleep only because I want to get some extra stuff done. However, I feel like there are some times in life where sometimes I feel like only going to sleep will fix my problems. You know how sometimes you can be going through something, or you might feel like you're in a bad mood, and sometimes just going to sleep makes things feel better, where you wake up replenished, your mind is reset a little bit, your body is reset, and it's like a refresher. So I feel like sleep is much needed. Rest is important, helps regular body. I'm gonna need that sleep. Right. I just woke up from my nap. Listen, we were literally talking about sleep right now. I meant regulate the body. Yeah, like you need sleep to regulate your body, regulate how you're going to navigate through everyday life. Because for me, again, I feel like it's important to get your rest. Like, sure, if there was a button I could press where I could wake up and, I felt like I had sleep, okay, but am I still getting the same benefits? Is my mind mentally refreshed, or am I with the same mindset? Because sometimes I can go and take a nap or go to sleep and it changes my perspective on things a little bit because I had that time to shut down and then I can wake back up. So I don't know. That's how I view it. I just feel like some people will say, I'll sleep when I'm gone, or I'm sleeping, I'm dead. And I'm just like, that's a horrible way to think about things. That is a very horrible way to think about things, because you're basically pushing your body to the brink of exhaustion. And you're doing all this where you're not getting enough rest. So what ends up happening when your body crashes out? When your body gives out on you because you didn't get all the rest you were supposed to get now, you won't be able to experience life that you're supposed to because you done made yourself sick. Or you won't be able to experience things in a way where you can, do things to the capacity that you need to because you're tired. I don't know. It just all seems very counterproductive to me. Yeah, I could talk about this. This kind of bringing back the topic that I talked about earlier. So somebody asked, our new coworker did that, seems like not doing good. he would sleep when Dad caught up with his health, sadly. Yeah, like, I've met a variety of people who would just work, or push themselves heavily, and they wouldn't do anything for self-care. They wouldn't have no downtime for themselves. And I get it, because to be honest, depending on your work life and how the economy is set up, sometimes you do need multiple jobs to make your ends meet, which sucks. But at the same time, you do need to have some time for yourself. You do need to have some downtime. And if you don't have it, or you don't make time for yourself to just decompress and to get rest, then it's going to mess with your health. And you're going to be sitting here wondering, oh, why do I feel this way? Because, dummy, you keep, I mean, no offense to everybody do it. I don't mean to call y'all dummies. If you doing this, I'm so sorry. But if you going through something and you basically putting sleep on the back burner, acting like, oh, I'll sleep when I die, I guess you're going to get it. If you're on that energy, you need to be mindful and take care of yourself and take naps if you can and get your real rest. Don't be putting it off. Decompress, do some self-care, color a coloring book, take a walk, take a nap, do something, get your however many hours of sleep you need. But don't be crashing out because you think you can do it all, or falling asleep at the wheel of the car. You know, get yourself together, pick yourself up. But anyways, so the next question is, somebody asked this, somebody said this on Threads where they were like, I always hear about guys getting friend zoned, but do girls get friend zoned as well? So I've been friend zoned before. I have a specific story I could talk about, actually. So I've been friend zoned before, right? And this was with somebody that I had been cool with for, let's see. I gotta count. Hold up. I think it was like 4 or 5 years. No, it was 5 or 6 years that I knew them. And we were friends, right? Now, I'll be honest. It was one time the teacher was talking and I fell asleep while she was asking me a question. You was gone. Okay, you was like, I'm not trying to hear nothing you talking about. Let me just knock this out, get this nap real quick. So there was this situation where I had this friend, right? And over the years, well, when we were younger, when I first met them, I understood that they were interested in me. However, they never crossed any boundaries with me. And I understood. I was like, no, I'm okay with just being friends with you, right? And he was like, okay, cool. Then maybe a year passed. He asked again, like, would you like to date? And I was like, no, I'm okay. But keep in mind, we weren't, how do I say? So when I first met them, we were in high school. It was one time the teacher was talking. I fell asleep while she was, oh, wait, I'm sorry. I'm reading the same one over. But yeah, like, I remember we met when we were in high school, and we kind of stayed close to each other for like a year afterwards. And then after that, we would just occasionally check in on each other, right? So I want to say year 5 after us, on and off, just catching up. He was like, hey, you want to hang out? I was like, sure. And we hung out a few times. Now, one thing about me, and I feel like this is with some people, not everybody, and this could be because I'm an introvert and I keep to myself, but if I see you and I enjoy spending time with you and I'm having a great time with you, sometimes, especially if I'm single, it will lead to me potentially liking the person, depending on the person, because I'm not going to be attracted to everybody. But at the time, I was a little attracted to this person because I'm like, oh, like we've been hanging out a lot. And I did. I told him, I was like, yeah, I've been seeing you a lot and I feel like I'm attracted to you. And I just wanted to tell you that. And he sat on it for a while. Like, it took him a couple of days to get back to me. But he was like, yeah, I don't think it would be a good idea for us to date. And he said he valued our friendship. And I was like, okay, that's cool. I've been friend zoned, but I didn't trip about it. Like, I think that was one of the only few times where I told somebody, yeah, I'm interested in you, and they turned me down where it wasn't a problem for me. Because I was like, okay, that's cool. Because in my head, I'm like, probably the reason why I'm interested in you is because I'm seeing you so much. And, we've been spending this much time together. So I was like, okay. But the thing that I did not like, though, is a couple of weeks later, maybe like a month and a half, 2 months, actually, I ended up hanging out and talking with somebody else. And I expressed to this friend that, yeah, this person I've been hanging out and I potentially might end up dating them maybe at some point in time. Because I naturally would talk to them about different stuff or whatever. Because that's how our relationship was. Like, he would talk to me about anything going on in his life, and I would talk to him about anything going on in my life. And it wasn't really a big deal. So what ended up happening was he seemed supportive at first, right? But then he started flirting with me. Specifically on social media where that person was going to see, the other person that I potentially might have been talking to or was going to talk to would have been able to see this information. And I was kind of confused because I'm like, well, almost 2 months ago, I told you that I liked you and I was interested in you and you didn't seem interested. And you was okay with that and everything was cool. Like, I didn't try flirting with you or anything. I haven't crossed any boundaries or anything. But now that I'm talking to somebody else, you want to act like you're interested in me? And I was kind of confused by that. And pretty much, we stopped being friends, actually, because what ended up happening was the guy I was talking to ended up commenting on one of my pictures, right? And I was flirting with the guy in the comments. The friend that I was cool with at the time started trying to flirt with me in the comments of my picture. And I'm like, bro, what are you doing? First of all, why are you flirting with me when you said you wasn't interested in me like that? And second of all, why are you flirting with me? And I've expressed explicitly to you that I potentially might be dating this other person, right? This man proceeded to be like, well, you liked me first. And I was in very much confusion because I'm like, but I might have liked you 2 months ago, but you said you wasn't interested in me. So what are you talking about? And you already knew I was talking to somebody else. And yeah, our friendship just fell off after that. Because I was just like, bro, if I expressed to you that I liked you and you had 2 months, well, to be honest, I'm definitely one of those people where if you tell me you're not interested in me, I'm not going to lie. I'm probably going to stop liking you rather quickly, specifically because, again, I've been rejected and I'm going to try to keep the boundary of treating you the same way because I would never want to make somebody feel uncomfortable. And in my head, I'm like, okay, if you don't like me, that means that option is cut off. Therefore, I will not like you like that anymore. It's something about my mind just severs it, like where I'm like, okay, I won't like you anymore. And I'm like, yeah, I just won't like you anymore. But I'll still treat you the same exact way that I've been treating you. I won't change anything. But for some reason, I guess maybe he thought I was still gonna keep liking him, or maybe he started liking me after he realized I was talking to somebody else. I don't know. That situation was weird. Excuse me. But I just feel like, people get friend zoned. Like girls, women can get friend zoned. But I just think that a lot of people don't understand how boundaries should be when it comes to relationships. Like, for some reason, when it comes to crossing those lines of friendships, people don't understand that boundaries can still be a thing. Like, you set up the boundary of not wanting to talk to me like that, and that's fine. I'm completely okay with you not wanting to talk to me. Therefore, I will uphold that boundary and I will never cross it again. And don't get me wrong, sometimes people can change their mind, but I just feel like it's interesting when people only feel like they want to change their mind after they already see you kind of moving on to somebody else. Or maybe they think you might want to linger around a little bit. And I'm like, that's not me. That's never been me. Like, if I say I'm interested and you tell me you're not, I'm okay with it. And I'll just be like, okay, that's fine. I understand that that is the boundary set. I will not cross over it again. But I think a lot of other people have friendships where they cross boundaries all the time, I'm noticing. I feel like a lot of people have these relationships with people where it's like, I'm going to be cool with somebody, but I'm going to flirt with them. Or do best friends with benefits. And I've never liked the concept of friends with benefits. Personally, it does not do anything but cause confusion. But that's just how I feel about it. Let me know in the comments down below, have y'all ever been friend zoned? Because I have, and I understood it. I just don't like when people feel like they can cross boundaries. Because I definitely think you should treat other people the way you want to be treated. And I don't like the idea of crossing boundaries. I don't like the idea of, well, you said you liked me once, therefore I'm going to flirt with you, even though I basically told you that that option was cut off. I don't like stuff like that. But that's just me. And I assume y'all can't relate because nobody commented on it. And people left. See, this is why I don't talk about myself. I swear, because I really be feeling like whenever I be sharing specific things, and don't get me wrong, people could be busy, or maybe people might not want to agree. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm just like, I don't understand the concept of, still trying to talk to somebody or chase after somebody that clearly said that they didn't want you. I don't understand that. It was a guy that liked me when we was teenagers, but I told her I saw him as a friend. Now that we are adults, that we go outside, talk, it was a random guy that was trying to talk with me. That guy that liked me was getting mad at me. Yeah, like, I don't understand stuff like that, because, I mean, why would you get mad because somebody else is now showing interest, or feel some type of way because somebody is now showing interest? I don't know. People just be on different energy, and I would never understand stuff like that where if you set the tone for whatever stuff is supposed to be, that's the energy I'm going to keep, where it's like, okay, you want to handle the situation like this, then I will handle it the same way. I'm not going to deviate from that because that's what you want. And I would never cross any barriers if it would make somebody uncomfortable or if it's not what they want. But I know other people can be kind of like, they want to be chased or they want to be aggressive about pursuit of people. And I'm like, that's not me. And I feel like that shouldn't be other people either. But I know some people find that to be normal, and I don't. But yeah, how are y'all doing though? I was debating on how long I wanted to be on here. Actually, let me look at what my battery is. It's not that bad. Ooh, hold on for a second. Oh. I think that's so. Yeah, okay. I've never been into chasing. I want the person to genuinely want to be with me. I agree. I think people's wants can change, and that's not always malicious, but I feel like you can just tell. Yeah, like you can understand if somebody is really interested in you, or if their mindset changes because of, for whatever reason, maybe they came to the thought process of, you know what, I think I would like to give this a shot. Let me try it out. But other times it's like, okay, the only reason why you're trying to talk to me in this way is because you saw somebody else trying to talk to me. And I don't like stuff like that, because that's a completely different situation. That's basically you on some, well, not to the drastic extent of if I can't have you, no one can, but it's like you thought I was just gonna be sitting here waiting for however long. Okay, not me telling y'all all my business. So that reminds me. So it was this other situation, right? I remember I was dating this other guy for a little while. And he told me at the beginning of us starting to talk. He said, hey, I want you to know I'm gonna be leaving for school out of town, like miles away. And he was like, so if we're gonna talk, it has to be temporary, right? My dumb ass. I ended up continuing to talk with this guy, right? And I should not have. I really should not have, but I was lonely at the time. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was lonely. So I continued talking to him, right? And what ended up happening was he told me we were going to stop talking, so we stopped talking. But what pissed me off was I found out he was talking to other women, and I got mad. I got so big mad, because I'm like, keep in mind, it's women where we lived. So I was just really upset by that, and I was going off, and he basically blocked me. Didn't want to hear what I was saying, right? So what ended up happening was maybe like some months went by. I want to say it was like 4 or 5 months went by, right? I ended up meeting somebody else. I ended up dating somebody else, getting involved with somebody else. And then around month 8, between the time me and the first guy had like stopped talking or whatever, that guy shows back up from school, and he was like, hey, let's basically rekindle what we had going on. Did you forget what happened before? I was mad and went off on you because you was up there sleeping in a sack with other people. Also, I got a man. And I literally was like, I got a man. Do you know that man was so mad? Like furious. Furious. He was furious. Now, okay, I forgot something important. Because I just remembered. Okay. So keep in mind, when he first told me, okay, we're going to keep talking, for a period of time, and then I'm gonna go to school, right? And he told me he wanted me to wait for him, right? Foolish, foolish. But he told me he wanted me to wait for him, and I agreed. Dumbass, dumbass. I agreed. But what took the agreement off the table, not to his knowledge, but what took the agreement off the table was me finding out that he was messing with other people. Specifically in our state, because I'm like, dang, you're not even out the state. I could have understood if you was out the state at school, but you messing with somebody literally a week later. And I was just like, when that man showed up and he was really big mad at me that I did not wait for him, I was just like, it's so much confusion. I was quite bamboozled. And I was really sitting there, because he emailed me, mind you, because I'm still blocked. He emailed me, which to me, it is so crazy that some people that I've dated would find a way to contact me and email me. It still baffles me to this day. This man was emailing me, going off. How could you? Why would you do something like that? How could you get into a relationship? We said we was gonna wait for each other. Did you? Did you? It was a week, not even a week after we stopped talking. And unfortunately, okay, this may be a little toxic. I'm gonna be transparent. I am definitely a person that will lurk, okay? Especially when I'm first talking to somebody, or when I'm like in confusion or whatever, if it's like a situationship, I'm going to lurk on your social media. I'm going to see what you're doing and who you're talking to. And that was me. So when we ended things, I'm like, oh, let's see what he's got going on in his Twitter account. Bro, when I tell you, it was him and some other woman flirting it up, lusty style. It was just so much lust, intimacy in those tweets. I was like, I know you fucking my, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cuss, but I was really just so outdone, bro. I was just sitting there like, I'm a fool. It's giving clown. It's giving clown. Because you really said with your whole chest you was going to talk to this man. For real. For real. You said you was going to talk to this man. You said you was going to wait for this man. Shops closed. No one's coming in. You said you was going to talk to only this man. And he played in your face. He got a girl already. And to my mindset, I'm like, he must have been talking to her before. Because for me, I'm like, nobody just lays down so quickly. But I'm just like, in confusion, she talking about busting open box and stuff, and you up here sending emojis that you should only be sending somebody that you actually invested in. I went off. I went off. And he did. He blocked me. And then proceeded to come back months later and ask me why I was involved with somebody else 8 months later. And I was just like, the audacity. Did you forget? How many women have you laid with at this point? It's been 8 months gap. What's really going on, sir? I blocked that man. I made that man spam. And a part of me kind of felt bad, but then at the same time, F him. You know what I'm saying? I always feel bad when I'm blocked, like when I mark my exes as spam. But also, why are you contacting me? If you're blocked for a reason. And if you blocked me, why are you even contacting me? What sense does that make you block me? It's not adding up. They just want to put you on the back burner in case they can't find better. Exactly. It's the email for me. When I tell you, literally last year, I had another ex contact me through email. And I was just sitting there like, it's been 9 years. It's been 9 years. It's been almost a decade. why are you messaging me? You really went through that email Rolodex. You really went through your contacts like, which ex can I annoy today? If you're blocked for a reason. I remember another ex contacted me through my business email. How did you find me? Why are you contacting me through business email? I remember somebody I dated contacted my business page and was like, hey, can you promote how do I say, because I don't know if this is a term I could get in trouble for on YouTube, but they was like, can you promote this grass for me, because I have a grass business, you know what I'm saying. But they had a business like that, right? And I'm just sitting here like, first of all, I don't talk about that. Like I don't talk about stuff like that on my accounts. And you're asking me to promote something for you? Do you not remember what type of trash? Not to insult them, but it's like, do you not remember what you did? Why we aren't? Again, I blocked them from there too. But I'm just like, why? What? I once had a Tinder match find me on Words with That's crazy. That is insane. I didn't even know you could DM on there. I didn't know either. That's absolutely insane. I would have just turned that off. Like, you can't be serious. I work in the grass business. Listen, I'm not trying to get in trouble with the YouTube police, but when I tell y'all, it's so many stories I could share where I was just in so much confusion when it came to exes popping back up in weird ways or in like aggressive ways where they almost felt like they still had, not even still, it's just the fact that they would show up in ways where they feel like they should be entitled to me. And I'm like, and this is the thing, right? When it comes to dating, I feel like some people don't understand. You can grow and you can turn into a better person, right? And I feel like a variety of people I have dated in the past have popped back up because they thought I was the same person where I was more chill about things. I would let things slide. I won't say I was a doormat, but I will say I feel like I was very naive when I was younger, and I should have spoke up for myself much more when I was younger. And I allowed myself to be manipulated, and I shouldn't have. And I do feel like it is my fault because I had issues where I didn't want to be alone at the time when I was younger. But now that I'm older and I've grown and I've learned myself and I've learned like what's for me, what's not, what's respectful and what's disrespectful, I have a complete understanding now of what I'm not going to tolerate. And I feel like some people would pop back up into my life, contact me via email, Facebook, make whole new accounts, why don't you? And they would think, oh, we need to be together. We need to be together. What are you talking about? What are you saying? Why? You were trash. Why would we need to talk? It's been a decade plus. Why would I need to talk to you? I don't understand. Also, I'm married. Like, whenever an ex contacts me when I'm in a relationship, I don't respond back. And even a little bit before, I think I had just started learning not to respond to exes because when I was younger, I used to respond. I was stupid. But I used to respond. And I think it was a, I'll be honest, I either wanted the attention or I didn't think that they actually wanted anything for real. I thought they were actually going to be cool. Eventually, I learned I could not be cool with exes. I learned that the hard way. I could not be cool with exes because the intent was not just to be cool, it was to try to pursue me again. And they were trying to gauge if something could transpire, if I was mad or something. But the thing is, once I have time away from you, I'm not going to be mad anymore. I'm not even going to care about you in that way anymore. You are an acquaintance at that point. I don't know anything about you. Because again, bruh, my sister had my ex-husband in her wedding. That's wild. I'm afraid of her because I would be so concerned. Listen, exes will pop back up, bro. And I think I might do a video about this, but a lot of times they be bored and they just looking for something to do. Or they still might have some attachment, maybe. They might realize, you know what? It's nothing out there. The grass ain't greener on the other side. I still want to be with you, girl. I'm sorry. It's been 10 years. What are you talking about? I'm a whole different bitch. What are you talking about? I'm sorry. I'll be meaning to cuss, but literally, what are you talking about? You don't even know me. I don't even know you no more. We don't know each other. And that's the thing that would get me. It's like, we have nothing to talk about. You don't know, like, that person that you knew doesn't even exist anymore. Now, I can't say the same for you, but I don't even want to know you. I really don't. It's just weird. A very weird experience when people pop back up from your past. Especially if they try to make it seem like certain stuff didn't happen, because even though I forgive people for what they've done to me, I'm always going to remember. I'm always going to remember. Even though I'm not going to treat you negatively, and I'll probably treat you just the way I'm talking to y'all. I would treat them the exact same way. But it's like, you want to still talk to me? That's crazy. That's weird. They appear like a State Farm agent. They really do. Literally 2 weeks ago, y'all. 2 weeks ago, I had somebody that I talked to when I was 17, 18 try to follow me on my Instagram, and I blocked them. I blocked them because I'm just like, but I'm not the same person as I was when you knew me, and I'm married. And even if I wasn't married, that's still weird, because why are you trying to seek me out? And it's been what? Oh, that's like 15 plus years, maybe? I don't know. I'm just like I'll never forget. Another story time. This the most y'all gonna learn about me in one live. I'm not sharing nothing else. I like keeping mysterious, and I'm telling too much business. Well, at least about dating, relationship stuff. But I remember it was either my second or third year of dating my husband. Hi, my name is Gabriella, but I go by Gabby. Hey, Gabby, how you doing? Also, hey, Kyoto, I'm so sorry. I forgot to say hi. How are you? But I remember 2 years within me dating my husband, right? I had an ex from 10th grade, mind you. Keep in mind, at the time, I think I was 26. I had an ex from 10th grade. Contact me on Facebook. They were like, "Hey, how you doing? I was just thinking about you." It's been 7, 8 years at that time. More than that. I'm like, I didn't say anything. I left them on red. I didn't say anything. This man proceeds to send me back to back voice messages. Some are over 40 seconds long. He sent me like 5 voice messages. I didn't open up any of them. One of my friends at the time who went to school with me and him, she proceeds to tell me that he reached out to her. Proceeds to tell me that he basically was like, "Oh, I wish she would give me a chance. I should have stayed talking to her. She wasn't First of all, he was insulting my dress. Keep in mind. So this man proceeds to this is so unserious, but he was dead ass. This man proceeds to be like, she was so simple. She didn't dress all like the way the other girls do. She don't be dressing with the like a baddie and stuff. And I really would miss like the simpleness about her. And I should have never started dating all these other people. And I'm just sitting here because she was sharing this information with me. And she was like, he said all this. And I proceeded to tell him, "You're in a happy relationship." She was like, I told him you were in a happy, devoted relationship. And he was still trying to get me to get you to talk to him. And to me, that's absolutely insane because, first of all, in 10th grade, we had uniforms. We started having uniforms. And also, I'm not gonna lie, there were some girls that were dressed kind of fast at that time, like where they were wearing more grown-up clothes, right? Again, my mom wasn't gonna let me go out the house like that. Otherwise, my mom believed in punishment. Let's say that. Because she did not want me to go down a certain path. Even though I wanted to dress like the other girls too. I'm not gonna hold you. I wanted a bodycon dress. I really did. I wanted to give me some heels, even though I couldn't walk in them. I wanted the weave. I wanted everything. I wanted to look like the other girls, but couldn't. But he tells me all this. Well, my friend relays this message, and I'm just sitting there like, this does not make sense to me because I haven't spoken to that man in 10 years. Also, the reason why we broke up, which he never found out, was because one of his friends ended up telling me that he basically cheated on me with somebody else. And I really appreciated his friend, and I did not throw his friend under the bus. I actually could, value his input because I didn't assume his friend to be a liar or whatever. But it was also the problem that we were regularly going to church, and he decided to lie and say he was taking his cousins to church, but really he was boinking her in his bed instead of being at church with me. Good times. But he never knew that I knew this information. He never knew that I knew that information. And it's funny because I was just like, it's crazy to me that you're trying to pursue somebody from a 10-year ago relationship when we were kids, and you think that I have the same mindset as I do as an adult. Very wild work to me. And yes, the voice messages was very crazy. Like, I didn't listen to any of them, but I was just sitting there like, you're weird. And I told my husband about it, and he laughed. Because we all went to the same high school. But I was just like, this is weirdo behavior. Very weirdo behavior. But okay, I'm done talking about relationships. Let's talk about something else, because I know some people don't want to hear about that stuff all the time. Okay, so next. Yeah, I think I can make it a little bit longer. Yeah. Okay, so next topic, right? Is it wrong to cut off a friend for being broke? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. This was a topic that I found on Threads again. Threads is one of my favorite places to find topics. But anyways, is it wrong for cutting off a friend for being broke? Now, personally, I've been the broke friend, so I wouldn't cut myself off. But I will say, I think it's a complete difference because, for example, currently, I am presently broke now, but I will have money in the future. It depends. If you always want me to front the bill, you got to go. See, I feel that. I completely understand that. And hey, Brianna, girl, how you doing? No, I won't. Okay, I don't care if you're broke, but me too. Don't ask for money. Right, exactly. Cause same. So this is the thing, right? So I'm the broke friend, yeah. Hey, girl, I'm the broke friend, right? But my thing is, if my friends want to hang out, I'm like, okay, y'all could come over for dinner. I will make y'all food. Which to me, I'm spending my own money. I didn't even ask them to put any money into it, but I'm like, I'll make some food real quick and y'all could come over. And my friends are normally okay with that because they like eating. And I can cook a little something. You know what I'm saying? People compliment my meals. But yeah, like I'll just be like, come over and I'll cook y'all some food. We could hang out. I got different stuff to do here. We got a many different things, activities we can do here. But if y'all trying to go out, be in the street, I'm good. Like, y'all could go out without me. I feel nothing against people being like, yeah, they want to do something. I never feel left out. I'm like, do that. Because I'm going to save my money in the bank. I got bills to pay. I'm not about to be spending my money to keep up with hanging out with people when I know I got stuff I got to pay for, or when I know I'm trying to save or just pay off my student loans, because that's a problem in itself. See, that's different. Some folks make expensive suggestions, but no money. Same. Yeah, I don't like people who coming up with stuff to do when it's pricey. Like, some people have bougie tendencies, but they broke. And I'm sorry. If that's your lifestyle, level up. But don't be expecting other people to support your lifestyle when you ain't even got it. Like, that's completely different situation. I ain't got time for that. And again, I'm the broke friend. However, I have been in situations where I've had friends that will attempt to ask me for money. And normally I'll tell them no. Because, like, if I have money to give, I'm just going to give it without expecting in return. That's one thing. If you lending somebody some money, don't expect it back. Because that's how people be ending their friendships, or they be trying to house somebody for money. I'd be damned if I have to house somebody for some money. my money. Like if I'm gonna give it to you, I'm gonna just give it to you to give it to you. But I would never cut off a broke friend, but I would cut off somebody who always complains about like I won't say complain about being broke because everybody complains about being broke, but somebody who doesn't want to like what's the word I'm thinking of? So if they don't come up with ideas for other stuff for us to do that's more affordable for them. Because I don't want to always have to be the person to come up with stuff to do for you if you're the broke one. It can't, especially if you start expecting me, because irresponsible with it. Right. That's another thing, especially if I see you spending money on stuff you can't afford or you don't need, I'm going to be looking at you sideways. Especially if you always crying wolf that you broke, and then I see you constantly spending money on hauls or, you know, excuse me, stuff you don't really need. I thought you didn't have no money. Sure, I understand paying for. Okay, I get it. I understand paying for, okay? But you could have just saved up 2 of them paying for payments and we could have got us a little Chili's, a little 3 for me. Listen, there are options and some people just don't want to take them. Like, I'm even cool if people were just, oh, let's go get donuts, or oh, let's go get Dairy Queen, or let's get some fast food and go to somebody's house, or go get fast food and just sit in the car. I am completely okay with doing stuff like that because I'm low maintenance. Like, I'm gonna come out with a video about being a low maintenance friend, but like I'm really chill about it. So it just always be getting me if somebody's saying, oh, they don't have money to do certain stuff that's like really minimal, and I see you spending money on other stuff all the time. Like, it's okay to treat yourself, but all the time, and you're crying broke, or you be expecting other people to pay for you all the time. Girl, I just saw you buy a $300 bag from Coach. You're little paying for payments. We could be doing something else. We could have went out a couple times, and you always want somebody to pay for you. I had a friend ask to borrow $1,000, but you on your way to an airport to go out the country. See, priorities messed up. Not what the helly. I'm telling you, man, priorities be messed up, okay? Although I did hear you can pay in 4 flights now. Wait, is it paying for it? No, it might be Affirm. People be doing that stuff to go on their trips. So that could have been what they used, but still it's like $1,000 is a lot of money to be borrowing for somebody. I could understand being like, hey, can I borrow $20? Okay. But $1,000 is insane work. I had a friend that be throwing an event for her friend, and she be asking me to come. And when we get to the party, she don't have no money to spend. So I told her I don't have it. You really got to act broke right with them. Like, I don't have enough for you. I can't help you. Girl, you po, I'm po too. Because ain't no way I'm about to be spending money. And when I know the way you move, and I know you got money yourself, and you want me to pay for you, you good. You got it. You got it. Exactly. Okay. All right. So the next topic, right? Do y'all go to work on y'all birthday, or do y'all take it off? I asked this because there was this discourse on both, I think it was Twitter and Threads a little bit, but people were talking about how you aren't mature if you, I guess, take off for your birthday. And I'm just like, again, just like earlier, who ranks what is mature and what is not mature? Like, you should be able to do whatever you want to do. It's your life. Now, if it's conflicting with your work, that's different. Cause I would not recommend taking off for work if you got a big project or a big meeting or something really important you got to do, you know? But if you just taking it off just to celebrate, I don't see no issue with it. If it's on a Friday or Monday to make it a 3-day weekend, see, I get that. Otherwise, no. Yeah, I get that. I take mine off because it's closer to the holiday. That makes sense. Call me immature then because I'm taking off. We get 2 floating holidays. I use one for my birthday and one for my partner's. See, that makes sense. And again, like, I don't see anything wrong with taking off if you want to or if you don't want to, but it's just like you should be able to do what you want to do. It's your day. Or you could celebrate it on the weekend if it's in the middle of the week. I just feel like people's perspective of what's mature or what's immature or what people should be doing when they're grown is it's weird. Cause it's like, why are you worried about what somebody else doing for their birthday or looking at somebody sideways because they want to take off work? That's just like so I know some companies do it where they'll ask you, okay, you'll put in time to take off work. And some companies will try to get in your business and ask you why you taking off work. Like maybe I needed a personal health day. Cause I know some businesses do have that, but I feel like that's rare for them to have mental health days, to be honest. But I still say, like, why are you in my business? If I can't make it in, I can't make it in. What if something happened with my car? What if something happened with my child? What if something happened where, someone I'm close to, I had to get to them, they're in the hospital? What if I just don't want to go? What if I just want to keep to myself? It's no different than taking any other day off. Right. I put in for it in advance just like you would for a vacation. Exactly. I went on a whole vacation and ain't telling people nothing. Listen, that's the energy you gotta be on. Cause some people will be in your business and they will be wanting to know, like, oh, why you take off work? Why you talking about me? Why you in my business? We work together. You don't need to know nothing about me. Like I definitely don't like people in my business, bro. Like, don't get me wrong, I overshared enough in these 2 hours and 30 minutes. But this the most I ever will overshare because, like, with work, no. You don't need to know a dang thing about what I got going on personal life. You don't need to know anything about me. We do our job, we go home. I'm kind to you. That's fine. That's fine. We don't have to bond. We don't have to do that. We could bond at work while we completing work. We don't have to do nothing else. Nothing else. Because sometimes people will be plotting on you, or sometimes people are messy and they trying to bring over the mess into what you got going on, and it's just too much. Not a fan. What is the next one? Okay. So someone said, at the age you are now, do you still like talking on the phone or do you not? And it's going to be the last question because my phone about to die. But yeah, did you guys used to talk a lot on the phone when you guys were teenagers and now that you're older, you do not talk as much? Or was it reverse, or you've never been a on the phone type of person? Let me know in the comments down below. Are you a texter type person? Because a lot of people were expressing that a lot of millennials kind of transitioned from being on the phone all the time as teenagers to basically not wanting to talk on the phone that much nowadays. Only if I'm driving or cleaning. That makes sense. Phone. Okay. Yeah, so no texting at all. I feel you cuz so when I was younger, I used to like being on the phone. However, I feel like it was because I was not supposed to be on there. I really feel like I had a whole rebellious thing. It was minorly rebellious, but I used to love being on the phone, especially when I got my first little flip phone. You couldn't tell me anything. Every time I'd just be like, I'm texting my friend, mom. My teenager year, I was a talker on the phone. Now I'm more of a text and I don't like talking to them anymore. Yeah, I'm similar because so when I was a teenager, I used to love talking to people and gossiping. Like I really enjoyed that. And then when I would be dating, I would like talking to whoever I was talking to on the phone. But as I gotten older, I realized I'm not gonna say it's not much to talk about because clearly I'm yapping on here with y'all. But at the same time, it's like I feel like if somebody had something very pressing to tell me, they would just call me because 9 times out of 10, I'm not gonna lie, my phone be on mute practically all the time unless I know for a fact that I'm supposed to be talking to somebody. And it's something that I'm working on. Like I know some of my friends have this issue with me where they're kind of like, girl, I haven't heard from you in like 2 weeks, and I'm just I'm a little depressed, or I'm keeping to myself. Like, or I'm working on YouTube. And that's another thing. My friends know I have YouTube, but they don't know I have YouTube. They know I'm a YouTuber, but they don't know I post on YouTube for real the way that I do. That I like, I don't think they understand that I actively am on YouTube. And I like it like that. You know, I think I told one of them recently because they were asking about it because I told them I went on live and they were like, oh, you be going on live? Why didn't you say nothing? Because I didn't want you to know. I didn't want you to know that I be on here yapping and telling my business sometimes. I didn't want you to be here and know that information. You don't need to know that. You don't need to know that. And someone on Threads was saying how you should want to tell your friends about what you got going on. And I get that, but also I don't want them ruining my algorithm because my friends are supportive, but it's like to a degree. I don't want you subscribing to me and you not really watching my stuff for real. Like, even if it's every now and then, but I'm like, I know y'all don't even be on YouTube like that. So why you trying to see what I got going on over here? It's okay. We can support each other in different ways. Just tell me good job. Like, we don't have to talk about it. It's all right. I wish I never told anybody. Girl, I saw that video you made. I can understand because like I don't tell too much of my business apart from this live. I'm not gonna hold you. I don't tell too much of my business, but I still wouldn't want my friends to know I'm over here yapping it up with y'all. Because again, I feel like I told this story before in one of my YouTube videos, but my mom knows about my YouTube channel, right? And she doesn't do it as much anymore now, but she used to do this thing where when I posted a video, she would call me. Girl, I'm about to watch your video. Hold on. And she would watch it. She would watch it while I'm sitting here on the phone and I'm just like, and she's like, oh, that's so funny. Girl, why'd you do that? What? I I do not need a live reaction because now I'm getting anxious. I do not need you live reacted to what I created. And then it's also the factor that she watched a couple of videos and now she always brings up the same thing. So, okay, y'all may have missed these videos. I'm going to say this real quick. Yeah, y'all may have missed these videos, right? But there were some videos when I was trying out magnetic eyelashes at one point in time, and they kept falling off my eyelash, and I kept them in the videos. I did. And my mom, every time, every week, you remember when your eyelash was falling off? Oh, that was so funny. That was like 7 months ago, girl. You gonna keep bringing it up? I do not want that experience with my friends because it's bad enough my friends be quoting back stuff that I've said before in the past. I don't need that with my YouTube channel. There are a variety of quotables that I've said over the course of this YouTube channel. Not to sound arrogant, but for some reason, I don't know if it's the way I say stuff, but people tend to latch on, and maybe it's because I don't talk that much. It could be because I don't talk that much, but for some reason, whenever I say certain things a certain way, people latch onto it that I know and they will bring it up. And I just be looking at them like, you're going to quote me to me? I don't. And I don't want that. I don't want that because that's going to annoy me. I do not want that. My boyfriend was trying to pull up my channel the other day when I was over and I almost passed out. I'm still shy. Girl. So I'm going to say this really, really quickly. So whenever I post a video, I will watch it on my laptop and then I will watch it on my TV to make sure like I can see the quality of what it looks like, right? It is so uncomfortable when my husband comes in and hears me on watching myself on the TV, because he will sit down and he'll just be watching it and he'll be on his phone, but he'll like look up and be watching it and he'll like laugh or he'll like be judging me a little bit, like side-eyeing me like, girl, what's wrong with you? And when I tell you, I get so anxious because it's like, I just be sitting there looking at him like, you're judging me. But every time at the end of it, he's always like, you're so cute. And I'm just like, what does that mean? Did you like my video or not? Like, what are your thoughts? But at the same time, don't tell me your thoughts because I'm scared. But yeah, I don't know. Like doing YouTube is a different experience when you share it with people you know. Because I'm always concerned about people judging me or looking at me sideways. Whereas with y'all, listen, I'm cool with y'all, but we don't know, like we've never like interacted for real in the public spaces, you know, so it's just different. It's like, you know, y'all accept this part of me that I don't really be sharing for real. Well, people see it, but I feel like the only people who really know this part of me for real is like my husband and my mom and my siblings. But like, it's just weird to have people for really like judging you and you kind of just sitting there. So you like it, you don't like it, critiques and good criticism. don't judge me too much, you know. I'm sensitive about my shit. But anyways, not too much. But yeah, my phone about to die. So I'm about to hop off for here. And I really appreciate you guys. Dang, I really wish I could have met the 3-hour mark, but yeah, I'm not about to be hooking my phone up to the charger. Make sure you guys check out this other embarrassing video. I've made a karaoke video I posted today, and I hope you like it. It is rather embarrassing. I'm not even gonna hold you, but yeah, I did post a karaoke video. If y'all want to check that out, to Coachella at Home. Yep, it's the Coachella one. The performance is not giving. But I hope y'all have a great night, and I'll be seeing y'all tomorrow because I'll be back on at 5:30 tomorrow. And yeah, I probably won't go live the rest of the week. But hope you guys have a good night. Bye, Brianna. Bye, Glass Child. Bye, Grease. And Rose, if you in here, bye, girl. I'll be seeing y'all tomorrow at 5:30. Bye.